Hi, my name is Nandipha Solomon. I'm the Head of Marketing for Citadel. Glad that you could join us today. I'm sitting with this wonderful, gorgeous woman, Gugu Sepamla. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I don't think there's any more to say. I'm Gugu Sepamla. I'm a mom. I'm a businesswoman. I'm a wife. I'm a daughter.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this conversation is about today, because it really is about us as human beings, whole human beings, mothers, mums, working women,
Right.
Out there trying to make our lives better and the lives of those around us better. And so, I thought we could perhaps have a conversation around how we deal with money and wealth, and how we converse with our children regarding that money and wealth, because we were talking earlier that we didn't get that talk.
Definitely. I don't remember my mom or both my parents ever having conversations with me about money. The only time I remember is when I was much younger and I lost school shoes or a jersey or a blazer, and my mom would be screaming at money doesn't grow on trees, or it's university fees time, and my dad suddenly panicking that, this thing of you wanting to study throughout all these years is enough, you must start working. So there was never really ever a time when we sat down and had a conversation about money,
So what have you done, though, with your children? How do you approach it?
Yeah, well, I've had to have different conversations with my kids. So one of the things that I do with my kids, for instance, is I have made them aware, for instance, expenses in the house. So when we go grocery shopping, I go with them, because I want them to know the value of money and the value of the things that we buy, because it's very easy for kids to say, Mom, I want this and I want that. And so we go shopping together. They see how much one pays. I also talk to them about saving. I reward saving. So if somebody's going to be wanting some games, the FIFA games that they always want, or if we're going to discuss holidays and they want to go on certain holidays. So throughout the year, I talk to them about, so what is it that you're going to put in? Because for it to happen, it's a community thing.
It's a collective effort.
It's a collective effort.
Yeah.
So there's some of the things that we do at home. And I just find that financial conversations are very rare, particularly in Black families.
Yeah.
I think we could easily talk about sex and not talk about finances.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's one of those things that are a conversation that we have, and we don't have them only when there's a crisis or when they want money. So we have a set time of, let's talk about where we are financially, how healthy we are as a family.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it started off difficult. It was difficult conversations initially.
Yeah.
But now it's become something that they look forward to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You talk about Black families, and there's a so-called Black tax.
Correct.
So as one of those people who have raised siblings, I've raised a total of 8 children, believe it or not. But I remember dealing with my siblings, because they were just wanting groceries and this and that, and having to sit down with them and say, right, this is my salary, this is what I pay for groceries, this is what I pay for the lights and and water, etc., etc. And for me that was difficult, because it felt like I was sharing my secrets. I was becoming vulnerable. But I realized how impactful it was then, in terms of them understanding.
There's power in that vulnerability. You talk about Black tax. I don't think I know of any Black person in our age range who hasn't, or who isn't responsible for other people other than their kids. My cousins, I took them to university. My aunt, I bought her first home. There was kind of an expectation that one does that.
Yes.
I'm hoping going forward with our kids, they, the Black tax is lessened. It's not fair.
You talk about that intergenerational wealth. I've just been to a presentation actually where they talk about the fact that the first generation tends to work hard and build the wealth. Second generation protects the wealth, but because they grew up with lack and then wealth, they tend to spoil their children, and then the third generation essentially just spends all the money. So it was quite a powerful learning for me, because we actually had generations of people in that presentation. We had parents with their daughters and their sons. And one specific example was how a mother took two sons into a vault, showed them how much money they would get, and then said, right, take 20% off. That's estate duty.
Right.
Take 18% off capital gains tax. And people don't realize that.
Yeah.
And those kids need to learn that that's what's going to happen. And then the rest were passion projects like a soccer academy or a Bentley, and they literally were left with this much money after all that had been taken away. So it's a very strong lesson to learn and a great example to give to our kids about how to maintain, because I think it's not just about wealth. It's also about building equity in the family, in the business.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I find with our children, we sometimes forget that they watch us.
Yes.
So if I'm going to say to my kids, listen, you can't be buying this and using the tagline that our parents used to use, that money doesn't grow on trees, but they see me spending lavishly. So they're not going to learn, they're not, what's going to teach them is what I do, not necessarily what I say.
Exactly.
So those gaps in lacking authenticity when we engage on finances come through.
Yes, they do. They do watch what we do.
Absolutely.
I have a 28-year-old who is he's working in Amsterdam for Deloitte, but he's done 400 hours above target. So he's actually overworking.
Yeah.
But I realized that I never told him he's doing what I did. So they watch what you do more than listen to what you say. So absolutely.
Yeah. So we have what we call a Truth and Reconciliation Commission at home every once a month. It's a very painful process for the mom because it's about the vulnerability that you were talking about. It was me sharing with them how much I earn, and you know how difficult that is.
That's painful.
For some reason, there's just this secrecy around money. But I felt that it was important because at that time I was a single parent. It was important for me to tell them honestly what we have in the kitty every month, right? And that, undue expectations are not going to be met.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
But also that everybody's going to have to play a role. So my eldest child, who's at university, when he's back on holidays, gets a job at Exclusive Books. Really, honestly speaking, that money is not going to do much. But I've found that for pocket money, he no longer asks for pocket money.
Exactly.
And that's already a lesson that's embedded in him, knowing that it's important for him to start understanding the concept of money, regardless of how small, his commission is at Exclusive Books.
Absolutely.
It's money that he gets in the pocket and he uses it wisely. So.
Fantastic. Well, I think it's been a great conversation. We should continue having these, just so that we can learn from each other.
Oh, absolutely. I'd love that. I think it's very, very important.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining our conversation. Until next time.